dad and I owned and operated a borderline bordello.
Rudy Rasmus learned the family business from his father when he was just 5 years old. His dad brought home a set of blueprints and unveiled his business plans. Together, they would get rich in the sex industry.
I'm fascinated. I'm looking at these plans saying, wow, you know, what is that? And he goes on to tell me that this is a motel, and other people's husbands were gonna come and give us money to spend time in one of our rooms. The women were independent contractors. We didn't really directly profit from their trade. We rented them a room, but the activity was the same. In a sexually oriented business, and that's what that was. We profited from darkness. And there was definitely something missing in my life. And I think the one thing that was missing was fulfillment. You know, it was just an empty place. You know, I had cash, but there was a hole kind of in my spirit, a hole in my being that I couldn't fill up with money or stuff. And that's really, I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what. And I never figured it to be God that was missing. By the end of that year, I said yes to Jesus. And that's when it really began. So I tell my pops, I said, hey, Dad, I can't do this anymore. And that's when he really thought I was losing my mind. And I really had. I had lost my mind to Christ. The way we feel God is through love. When I look back over my life, you know, even from a little boy, I can sense those moments when God was like, here I am, I'm real, you know, trust me, try me. I wasn't a bad guy, but I didn't do good things. And in spite of that, Jesus said, you can be a part of my crowd. And that's really why I'm so committed to this faith today, because of the unconditional love God showed me.
I think it's important to realize that human trafficking is sort of like this many-headed beast. You know, it has expressions as far as child soldiers, young kids in other parts of the world primarily being forced into militia groups and violent kinds of activity. The probably best known form of this horrible stuff is sex trafficking. Sex trafficking gets a lot of attention, as is understandable, because it deals with the exploitation of women primarily, but also children, and forced into providing so-called sexual services. But what they really are being asked to do is become property and objects of abuse. Just awful. Labor trafficking is the other major form of human trafficking, and labor trafficking doesn't get quite as much press, but it needs to be acknowledged. We're talking about people being enticed and then forced into some kind of debt bondage to work in the hotel-motel industry, construction industry, restaurant industry. In fact, Dr. Dave Batstone's first experience getting to know the horrors of human trafficking was with children who were forced to work at a restaurant.
Not for Sale on our campus is, we're all about raising awareness about the issue of human trafficking, because it's not that known, and not a lot of people know that it's even a problem in our country. And we're also all about fundraising and coming up with funds to support causes who help fight against human